It has to be music. It has to scream out from the shelves and never allow dust to settle. It has to shake loose from the page, stop conversations at the bar, leave trails of itself hanging in the air like ribbons of spotlit cigarette smoke. It must be capable of writing itself on walls, able to paint city skylines in glorious technicolor or a million shades of grey. It must take root in the cracks between paving stones and spread its fingers out against the canvas of the sky. It has to keep rhythm, an everyday rhythm. It has to mark time. Has to make news rhyme with actual fact and truth rhyme with beauty. It must speak, must put words in people's mouths, make new shapes for tongues to hold, open tired eyes to new ways of seeing. It must birth its own language with lips capable of kissing scars. And it must stand. It must stand as testament to the fact that words can draw blood and make that blood sing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as Ms. Farah Malik has already said, you guys are basically the community building day for the London Teenage Poetry Slam Project 2009. I think that deserves a big amount of noise. Alright, so this project has been running since 2002-2003. We are very lucky and fortunate to have some of the students that were there in the very first year with us today, and I'm going to call them out at some point, not right now. So Yinka and Rosie, don't worry, don't get scared. Not right now. You're all right. But yeah, at some point I'm going to introduce you to them. Basically, this day is to bring all of you guys together. Have a little look around. Let's have a little look around. We've got about 140 people in this room. All of you in your various different schools have worked through the first phase of your STEM project. That's worked slightly differently in each school, but now you're all here today. And you are the guys that are going to be moving forward. You are the guys that are going to be representing at the Slam final at the end of June. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you there at the end of that day. But this day is all about you basically getting to know each other. Yeah? When you see another team go up on stage, I want you to be applauding for them just as strong as you would applaud anyone else in your team, because you'd have worked with them today. You'd have got to know them. So Hendon, you're going to get to meet Kingsford, you're going to be getting to meet Little Ilford and Lillian Bayliss and everyone. Yeah, you're going to be working together and seeing how it is that you guys get down. The other point of today is so that you can get to meet all the other poet coaches on this project. Yeah? I'm Jacob Samuels, I'm the artistic director of the project. I'm basically the guy that puts all the plans together, that asks the poet coaches to come into schools and do all this kind of stuff with you guys. But it's the poet coaches that really make this happen with you guys. So my first poet coach of the day is going to be Joseph Coelho. Give him a round of applause.
Hello. You okay? Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm going to do one about growing up. When I say man, you guys say I had it made. You ready? Man! I had it made! That's louder than that. Man! I had it made! Man! I had it made! Oh, I'm amazing. Seriously, I'm really, really cool. When I went to school with the headmaster, I drafted the rules. We studied my cares, the clothes that I wear in athletics. We worked in pairs, leapfrogging over teachers. I said, man, I said, man, in assembly all praised me whilst I sat serenely up on the stage, the deputy head kneeling as my page. The girls plaiting my hair, putting it into braids. I said, man, school holidays were had in celebration of my greatness. When the Queen came to visit, she called me her liege, and we sat in the staff room drinking the teachers' tea, eating their cookies. We were hated. We ate all the sweeties from the cupboard of things confiscated. I said, man. In math, we learned trigonometry by flying white planes. In science, we studied biology by experimenting on living brains. Geography was graded by air miles flown. And in technology, oh my days, we had to design our own phones. Now, Mum was blinged out because I was the best. It had an interface to help me cheat on tests. It was an iPod PSP Motorola with remote control from a dirt bike, a built-in subwoofer to ensure it was heard right. The camera was built in and came with a camera crew, and the Bluetooth headset was set in earmuffs to protect me from the flu. I said, man, one day I woke up, not feeling my best. I looked down and counted 1, 2, 3, 3 hairs on my chest. I called to my mum. Mum! keep getting emotional about really silly stuff. I didn't have it made. So I put on my jacket and I go to first class, the boys and the girls, afraid the girls would laugh. First class was science and everyone was silent. The topic was puberty and no one had revised it. We learned about hormones and things getting bigger, about personal hygiene and BO being the trigger, and then Sir puts on the tape and there's a boy that looks like me. He's got a deep voice and his chin's a bit stubbly. This boy is becoming a man, said the teacher. Said the teacher with a smile. But I took my cue, whipped off my jacket, and the girls went wild. They took pictures of my pimples and clippings of my chest hair. I said, easy ladies, these fellas are rare. The other guys were jealous, but I didn't care because I was becoming a man. And man, I thank you.
My name, Sifundo in the Southern African language of Ndebele, means a beautiful lesson. And through the words, I aim to be a physical incarnation of that blessing. The women in my family live loud and die quietly. I never knew that Auntie B's headscarf, a fashion statement I wanted to emulate and would 10 years later, was to hide her lack of hair from the chemo. Back then, South End Pier was a catwalk. It didn't seem the longest pier in the world then, as I peeled off my hand-me-downs to feel the sun on the flat of my chest and my back. I knew nothing of bleeding a sea between my legs, had not spent hours playing dot to dot on anything apart from the activity book Auntie B gave me from her Mary Poppins-esque bag. I had not spent hours etching my image into my subconscious. I didn't even know how my body worked yet. How Auntie B would laugh at me, aching to be a woman, her wide, gappy-toothed smile remaining in the bubbles we blew. She sits at the edge of the pier, unravels her headscarf, the sun like a halo behind her hairless crown. One naked woman and one naked child on South End Pier for the very last time.
Make a sunny afternoon round of applause for Solanki!
Shut up. The only reason it's on the page is because it was written last night, when I heard somebody say upon a stage that all of their life had been a fight. So this is for every kid I ever had the pleasure to meet, who relinquished their kingship in a classroom, whose tongue was set on fire by the sound of their own heartbeat. This is for every kid whose heart ticks louder than a bomb. Show me the concrete bricks your inner temple is built from. Show me the kung fu kicking your lip as a bass drum. Your melody is crafted from the aftermath of battle rage carved into the page. Like when your heart was hard when your folks' marriage failed, or the pain you scarve in your carbon veil as you reach out yearning to belong. So speak to me of every tear that your cheek's been wet by. Every teacher you've been met by, every memory you savor, every flavor, every moment you've been touched, every rhyme that's been forged in the furnace of your heart. And every time you sculpted words to speak of who we truly are. Because sometimes we forget our kingship and fear slips in. Sometimes I forget my kingship and fear slips in. And that's when I need your poetry. Poets which teach me once again to see. Poems which blind me with light. Poetry which dismantles the fallacy that life is simply black and white because we were born in the shadows of every distempered emotion and shade. 21st century UK, British born and yet made from the blood of our ancestors, speaking the tongues of our kin, carrying the songs of our forefathers, nurturing wisdom within. So as you grace the stage today, know that the pictures you paint in your heart and your mind are the stories which guide womankind to the future. You are the gatekeepers, the mysteries unknown, so pull the sword from the stone with your speech. Let ancient spirits guide you. Let what's inside you speak. Find your kingship again, and let your tongue be set on fire by the sound of your own heartbeat.